Coach Frank back in the building. I appreciate all the love that you guys have been giving me, the warm wishes on the videos that we're posting. Some of my students have been giving some good insights as well. So, one of the things that I want to mention at the outset of this video is if you are interested in communicating with me outside of YouTube, you can reach me on chess.com. My chess.com account name is simply Chess Coach. Just Chess Coach. Send me a friend request, join the Fish Squad, or you can send me a challenge if you see me online. And without further ado, let's jump into another 10-minute game and see if we can't have an instructive experience. Okay, we got the white pieces. We're going to jump in the center right away, guys. You know how we get down. We're going to lead off with e4, pawn to e4. And our opponent is playing symmetrical. We have a Rai Lopez here right away, and I'm just developing my bishop to a natural square. A6 kicks the bishop, hoping for me to capture the knight, which I'm not necessarily interested in right now. Normally, I simply castle here, but because my opponent is 2100 from Italy, I'm going to play the intermezzo move, Queen E2, defending the weak E4 pawn just to give him an opportunity to do something else. I'm probably going to castle in the immediate future, putting the bishop on f7 as some light pressure. We could eventually do something like knight g5. He's probably pushing his d pawn is what I'm expecting. A d pawn push is probably incoming, but can I play? Okay, he's castling. All right, so we're going to castle. Then I'm probably going to play c3. I do believe king safety is more important. Bishop e7 is a pretty good move there because it negates the knight g5 idea because he just simply castles, and then now my knight is looking crazy. Okay, so we've got bishop g4 incoming. Not really a dangerous move. I thought he was going to develop his bishop along this diagonal, putting additional pressure on the e4 pawn, but it looks like he's choosing to pin my knight, which I'm kind of happy to see. I'm going to play rook d1 and then d4, which I believe is the Worrell attack in the Rai Lopez, if I can get it off. See how he continues. Thinking he's in the fish tank here, guys. Oh, he castles first. Let's go ahead and play rook d1. Expecting, okay, he did not move his bishop. He chose to attack my bishop with his knight on the edge of the board. We love to see it. Okay, he does go ahead and challenge for the center. I'm going to ignore this and just go anyway, um, because I do believe I have more attackers in the center. We have the rook, we have the knight, and we have the pawn. He only has two pawns. Okay, he decides to move his queen to the dark squares. Hmm, queen to dark squares. There's no way for me to put a knight on d5, which is what I would like to do. Hmm. Tell you what, I really don't believe he's going to do anything weird. So I'm gonna take the time out and develop my bishop. I'm developing my bishop. I'm trying to stall for a second. I need to see what's going to happen with his light square bishop. And that's going to help me determine what I do with these pawns in the center. I'm trying to get an idea of where he's going to put his pieces. So rather than force an exchange in the center, I'm just going to take the opportunity to develop one more piece. I don't think that that's going to be an issue. Okay, so he does put his bishop on the B7 diagonal, which I thought was the stronger diagonal. However, it does not put any pressure on my knight, which I am a fan. So my original idea was to try to some kind of way get a knight on D5, but that's no longer going to be an option. The other thing that I'm looking at is his knight on A5. So his knight on A5 is strangely placed. I can't play knight BD2 because of the capture would leave my bishop hanging. I wonder if I play knight A3, is that going to be strange? Knight A3, does that get me into trouble? Let's try knight e3 for two reasons. One, it protects the bishop and allows for me to move my rook, but two, it kind of provokes a pawn push. And I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to do either. And if he doesn't do anything, I might just push b4 and challenge his knight. Okay, so he's saying he's happy to open up the C file. So I'm going to go ahead and protect my bishop yet again. And then I still might play b4. Uncertain. A lot of positioning going on, a lot of jockeying for position. My opponent is playing well. My opponent's rating is 2102, and I'm playing this game with a rating of 2116. And this is a 10-minute game. My opponent has 7 minutes left. I have 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Let's see. Okay, he does retreat the knight. Um, he retreats the knight. Need to make progress. How do I make progress? I feel like it's time for another stalling move. Can I move the bishop? Is my bishop doing anything? Not really. I mean, it is protecting his pawn, but what if I just retreat it? Let's retreat it. Let's just retreat it for a second. And what this does is if the C file opens up, there is going to be some indirect pressure on his queen. So that might slow down any captures in the center. And it also opens up the idea of me potentially playing knight c2 and knight e3, joining on the f5 square or possibly the e5 square, which was a square I was very interested in. Getting my knight to the other side of the board, bringing my knight to bear on the king side of the board. Okay, he does, strangely, very strangely, he does capture one pawn. I am actually totally shocked that this happened because now, what? Oh, knight takes pawn. Wait a minute. Knight takes pawn. He plays knight takes knight. I take his queen's going to take with check. What if I play knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, rook takes knight, his queen is hanging. Knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, rook takes, his queen is hanging. Oh, am I mated still? What if I ignore that? Hmm. So what he's saying here, does he have a way to protect this pawn? Can I attack this pawn again? I don't see how he can protect that pawn. I'm just going to go ahead and attack it again. There's no rush to grab this pawn right away. He wanted me to trade, and there's going to be a back rank issue, I think, but I did have knight back. I did miss this. So I think at the end of that combination, I had knight e1. So maybe I missed something there. Let's see. I'm going to go back a second. If I would have played knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, um, rook takes knight, queen takes rook, bishop takes queen, rook takes bishop, and then knight e1. Knight e1 there. He doubles his rook's holding. I think I have to. I'm going to be in trouble because pawn push loses more material. Mm, yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I didn't do that. All right, so knight c2 was played. That would have been a little bit challenging, him sacrificing the queen, but okay, so this move doesn't bother me so much. I do take this though, right? Queen takes, bishop takes. He's got to play queen takes, and then now knight takes pawn. Uh-huh. Yeah, rook takes rook or knight takes knight. Knight takes knight, have to take that. Okay, rook takes rook. I'm on this knight twice, by the way. He's defending twice. He's probably trading rooks, which I don't mind. His queen is going to be in trouble here, guys, because all I have to do is play f3, and that's going to be a problem. So I think he's got to solve that. So he probably needs to play rook captures, and then rook e1. I mean rook e8. I think that's what needs to happen here. 4 minutes left on the clock for my opponent. I have 6 minutes. Okay, he decides to move up. Interesting. So not sure what that does. I'm going to go ahead and retreat with a tempo on his queen. This pawn is going to be loose after the rook trade. See, where does he put his queen? Oh, I cannot play f3 anymore. Hmm. Also, we do have a little bit of X-ray vision over here on the H7 square, so there may be a line where I play queen d3 in the future. But right now, we need to see where he's going to put his queen. He's down to 3 minutes and 15 seconds. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm definitely putting pressure on this knight and his queen at the same time in this position. There is tension on the rook. Both rooks are under attack. Is there anything else going on? He's got to stay close to this pawn. Oh, he goes closer. Interesting. Okay, double attack on the rook, guys. Let's not sleep on that. Do have a double attack on the rook. So let's go ahead and trade the rook off. Let's remove that tension. Oh, you know what? I neglected to see that both the knight and the queen were protecting this pawn. I did miss that. I could have blundered there. Let's see. Queen there's check. Pawn push could lose the queen. We don't want to push a pawn in front of our king, guys. Avoid pushing a pawn in front of your king unless it absolutely stops checkmate. Um, let's see. Bishop takes knight. Or yeah, bishop takes knight is interesting. I'm already on this twice. Can I get him to move his pawn? If I do this, I think this forces him to push one of these. Okay, good. I kind of happy about the push. So now I don't have to worry about the bishop, right? That's what I was trying to do, is get the bishop off the table. So now, with the bishop no longer being an option, pawn push gets to be a little bit more interesting. So do we try this? Risky move, but I'm going for it, guys. Risky move, but we're going for it. I just want to see if we can't get this queen up out of here. I do want to play something like knight d. Okay, good. Oh, he's back on this. So I don't have this knight move. I think I'm gonna go back here. Wait, let's just calculate this. Bishop takes, he plays pawn takes. So what if I move the knight? Move the knight could be interesting. He can't play knight takes knight because I made him. And what else is going on? He can't capture. All right, let's try this. He doesn't have knight takes and he doesn't have knight takes. And he can't really stay there. So I might be winning a pawn. I don't see any rook moves. He can't put his rook down here. What does he do? Oh, he takes with the queen. All right, so bishop takes knight. All right, he stole a pawn from me. Knight takes knight. I don't want, okay. Bishop takes knight, followed by knight takes pawn. All right, so he stole a pawn. All right, so we just lost a pawn, threatening to lose another one. If I play knight takes pawn, Say queens, rook over. I think I'm okay. Let me see. Knight takes pawn. If he plays rook over right away, I can just push. Wait, his queen is hanging, so that doesn't work. Knight takes pawn, queen takes queen, rook takes queen. Then rook over. I can just check him. Okay, so I'm gonna try this. I don't want to get mated though. Knight takes pawn, knight takes pawn, queen takes queen, rook takes queen. Set, king steps up. Oh, oh, king steps up, and then F5 is a problem on my knight that he didn't take. He wins material. Hmm. Okay, so if I bring the knight back here, let's try it. I gotta trade. Unfortunately, I can't take that. All right, I am holding the loose pawn here. Ah, man, this is not. I just lost a pawn. I'm down two pawns. All right, so let's close the door on that pawn moving and then get our rook to the open file. Check, get out of check. I do want to check him and then check him. So he's got to move his king right now, or we're putting the rook back. 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock for our opponent. We have 2 minutes. All right, let's see if we can just shut down some of these dark squares. Not feeling good about this position, guys. We're not feeling good about this position. This is not what we want. All right, so we're gonna get the rook down here to pressure on the six. We know he's gonna step up with the king. I think we're gonna leave this diagonal. We're gonna get out of this diagonal. He cannot check us on C2, so we're gonna probably just walk our king out. Okay, just walk our king out. He cannot step over because we just eat and eat. Those both of those pawns are loose, so the king is just faking like he's going somewhere. He's not really going anywhere. It's all an illusion. Okay, he's holding a pawn. So this move allows me to take the rook. Oh, he's also threatening rook over, so I can't step my king up right away. So I'm just going to slide over here just to see what he does, because I do want to kind of put my rook in here. I mean, my knight in here. Okay, so that's a good move for me. I can now tickle, do a little tickle on the rook, attack the bishop, attack the bishop. Wait, he did not take. So what if I hold my piece? What does he do? I can retreat. I got 1 minute 50 seconds. He's got 50 seconds. If I capture and he captures and I check him, I'm not getting a pawn. Am I gaining a pawn? Can I get here in time? I don't really think so. I think the tricky knight's got to stay on the board. So I put the knight here, he's probably dead. So if I go here, 1 minute 20 seconds. If I go here, I'm gonna retreat the knight just to keep it confusing. He's the one low on time. Okay, he is after a pawn. I'm just gonna push the pawn one time, get it on the dark squares. Okay, that's not dangerous. Let's just see what he does with his king. He comes closer. Okay, good. So let's. I'm running out of time. I gotta watch the diagonal. I got 57 seconds. Okay, he's winning the pawn there. I gotta step out of check. Let's get out of check. All right, let's pin this pressure. Pin, pin, pin. Looking for check. 35 seconds to 49 seconds, guys. It's getting critical. Um, I'm gonna rotate. He's probably checking me. I'm gonna step to the light square. Okay, we see all that. I do want to get my knight over here. Okay, knight is moving. Oh, I could have grabbed this pawn too. Stepping out. It's gonna check me again. I'm just going to keep stepping around. I'm not sure what he's up to. Okay, pawn takes pawn. And I do have check here. And it's double up on the pawn and the rook. Okay. I can step here. He can't check me again. Okay, he holds that. Grab the pawn. Okay, I'm just going to step to the white square. Hopefully I don't get mated here. Okay. Let's just go here. I don't want to get mated, guys. Please don't mate me. 7 seconds. He's got 7 seconds. I got 12 seconds. We gotta pick it up. Okay, a little check, step away. Oh, he's on my knight. Ooh, the knight was hanging. Oh, gotta be careful. I don't know where to go. Let's see. I can guess the pin. Oh, I flagged. CG with him having 2 seconds on the clock. What a critical nail biter. What a critical nail biter. Let's take a look and see what happened there. Um, wow, it was a great game. Great game. Didn't play that well. Didn't play that well, but it was a great game. It was a great game. So we will record both the L's and the W's. So here we go. We got our first loss in quite some time. It was a nail biter. I made some mistakes in this game. Obviously, losing some material because I'm down material here in the final position. Um, However, it really came down to the time. I couldn't see where to put my pieces in that time scramble. But if you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the excitement, the adrenaline rush, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Again, if you want to play me on chess.com, make sure you send me a friend request, Chess Coach, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you so much.